Aviation Industry Analyst Geoffrey Thomas joins me now from Perth in Australia for more on this. Geoffrey, thanks so much for coming in on the show. Now, as my colleague just mentioned, we have witnessed a very similar crash just last month at the same airport, same airline. It was also Boeing 737-800. Then also something very similar in January last year in another Turkish city. It doesn't look good for Pegasus.
No, look, it doesn't indeed. And getting back to this particular accident, we understand that there was a tailwind situation. So aircraft take off and land into the wind. In this particular case, this aircraft encountered a tailwind of 35 kilometres an hour. Now, the runway there is 3,000 metres long. The aircraft didn't touch down until the 2,000 metre mark and only had 1,000 metres to stop. It didn't stop. It exited the runway at 116 kilometres an hour and then went down that embankment that the viewers can see. So the weather was a very big factor because there was a thunderstorm going through and the wind was changing from a crosswind to a tailwind, and the air traffic controller, in fact, had alerted the next aeroplane to take off that there may be a change in runway heading. In other words, the takeoff and landings were going to be from the other end. So it looks like a very difficult situation for the pilots. What they should have done, from what we understand, is aborted the landing and gone around and landed from the other direction.
Mm-hmm. And in your opinion, could there be anything else that could cause this crash beside the weather? We have witnessed horrible weather in the past few days here in Istanbul with the strong winds and rain.
Sure. But with the record that's been alluded to by your reporter on the scene there at the crash, Pegasus has had several overruns, what we call them overruns, skidding off runways. And it may well be a pilot training issue. Could be the problem, where they need to make decisions and say, look, this situation is not right. We have to go round, do it again, change direction of the runway. So we need to. I think Pegasus needs to have a look at their pilot training to see whether there may possibly be a deficiency that's caused the airline to have these overruns.
Mm-hmm. And what about the fact that it happened also in January, just last month, at the same airport? Can this also be something that investigators will look into?
Look, indeed, they'll look at parallels from the incident last month in January at the same airport, and they'll look at the other incidents as well to see whether there's a common thread amongst them all to say, look, as I mentioned, the pilot training, we need to have a look at this element of your pilot training because there's a deficiency here that's causing your pilots to take certain actions when they should be taking other types of actions to prevent such an overrun.
Okay, Geoffrey Thomas, aviation expert. Thanks so much for that insight for us here at TRT World.